Hey guys, Dr. Axe here, Doctor of Natural Medicine. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Daniel diet and how to do a Daniel fast. And this is something I've trained my patients on for years. I myself have done a Daniel fast in the Daniel diet on many occasions. And in this video, again, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step process on the 3 things you must do in order to really do a Daniel fast and the Daniel diet right. And really, the Daniel fast and diet really started in the book of Daniel, where Daniel decides that he is not going to eat the food of the king that has been sacrificed to idols. And he says, hey, test me. He said, test me for 10 days and see how I look and appear after a 10-day period. And then again, later on, 21 days, and they see how he's doing again, and he's excelling and doing incredibly well. And so the Daniel diet has these benefits. It can help you experience a breakthrough in body, so in your physical health, in mind, as well as in your spiritual health in the spiritual realm. And so again, no matter what you're struggling with, whether it's a chronic health condition, whether it's an emotional issue you're having, or it's spiritual bondage, doing a fast, especially the Daniel fast or a Daniel diet, can help you experience the breakthrough. So again, if you're in that position, you feel like, hey, I need a breakthrough, then I believe that this is for you. So step number 1 in doing the Daniel diet or a Daniel fast is to change your diet and consume in the Bible what they only call pulse for 10 days or 21 days. You can choose your time period, but 10 to 21 days. And in pulse is typically going to be vegetables, fruits, and certain seeds and nuts and whole grains. Now, with this, I recommend that you stay away from whole grains that contain gluten. And most gluten-containing grains, we know that's not what they were consuming back then. Most of our grains today have been hybridized, so it's not the same. So what I'd recommend on a Daniel diet is consuming mostly vegetables and fruits. That should make up probably about 70% of your diet. And then if you are going to consume some whole grains, nuts, and seeds, doing things like sprouted nuts and seeds, like sprouted almonds, sprouted flax, also doing possibly something like a soaked or a properly cooked sprouted brown rice or oats, and things like that, and maybe even something like peas is great as well. But again, that's what I would stick to is fruits and vegetables. Really, vegetables should make up 50% of your diet at least, along with those other things. And if you want a full list, visit my website, draxe.com. That's draxe.com. I have a whole Daniel diet food list you can find there on my website, or just do a Google search for Dr. Axe Daniel Fast, and you'll find my whole food list on there on what you can and can't eat. And then doing water. You want to do about 8 to 10 glasses of water throughout the day, loads of fruits and vegetables. And if you do this right, you are going to feel absolutely fantastic and cleansed. And the first 2 or 3 days going through, you tend to feel weaker. But after day 3, you have something, sort of this stress melt off of you. And you even start to experience a glow. You may even have people tell you, wow, you look different. I can tell there's something different about you. So again, step number 1 in how to do a Daniel diet or Daniel fast: change your diet and follow eating only fruits, vegetables, and sprouted nuts, seeds, and whole grains, and sticking to that. Step number 2 in doing the Daniel fast right is taking 3 times a day for anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour and spending time with God, spending time in prayer. And what I recommend is, again, maybe it's just 5 minutes, but in the morning, right when you wake up, right before lunch, and then in the evening, taking time and just praying and really seeking God. And so what I like to do is recommend my spiritual triathlon, and that's spending 5 minutes in prayer, 5 minutes reading your Bible, and 5 minutes in praise and worship. Actually, typically I start with praise and worship, and then reading a devotional or the Bible, and then prayer, and doing that anywhere from 5 minutes to, if you have longer, 15 minutes or so, as long as you can. But doing those 3 things 3 times a day, that's such a critical part of this, because when we look back at the book of Daniel, there are 2 things he did along with changing his diet. 3 times a day he spent seeking God, and also he looked to perform with excellence. And that's step number 3 here. So when you do a fast or do the Daniel diet, that doesn't mean you lay around on your back and you just notice that you have a little less energy than normal and you make excuses. No, what was Daniel doing? Well, he was seeking God, but also he wanted to prove to the king that he could do his job better. He would look better, more physically active, stronger than ever before by following this diet and by seeking God 3 times a day. And you know what they found? They said that Daniel's knowledge and the knowledge of his friends, they said he had 10 times the amount of wisdom, knowledge than the other people did. And so during this time, do your work with excellence. What I recommend you do during these 10 to 21 days is really work on your skill set and goal setting. I would take some time and set your goal and really think big. It's what the book Good to Great calls big, hairy, audacious goals, or what a pastor I know wrote a book. He said, Sun Stand Still was the name of the book. And so pray big prayers. I'd take some time, really reflect and say, God, what is it that I couldn't do without your help? What is this big thing you've put on my life? And so I would take time and really focus on one big goal you have, in whether it's one goal in your life or one goal in different areas of your life, and really seek God in those things and really then start to pursue excellence. So write down that goal or that big vision that you have and then really start working towards it during that time. But that's really, if you want to really encompass what Daniel did, number 1, change your diet and honor God with the way you eat. Number 2, seek Him 3 times a day in that spiritual practice. And number 3, make every day a masterpiece. Pursue excellence in the workplace. Be that light again physically. That's what Daniel was. Daniel was a light physically. They noticed he looked different, but also he stood out with his wisdom and the way he conducted himself, the goals he had, the different things he did. So again, all of those things are important, encompassing part of doing a Daniel diet and the Daniel fast. And really, the Daniel diet wasn't just that 10 to 21 days. It's the way he ate all of the time and really honored God with his body throughout his life. So this is Dr. Axe saying, hey, I encourage you to do a Daniel diet or Daniel fast. And if you want more information, make sure to go to my website. That's draxe.com, draxe.com, or look up Dr. Axe Daniel fast there on Google or your Yahoo search engine. And by the way, if you want to learn more about natural ways to take your health to the next level, make sure you subscribe here to the YouTube channel. And I pray that you guys have a blessed day.